Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you here this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and anyone else who you think may find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. I want to start by saying a very special congratulations to Hope here in Gardner, beginning as the House of Peace and Education, and now with their location downtown at Hopeful Boutique and all the other childcare and cafe options that they do. Hope turned 25 this year, so they had a very special celebration over at their location over on Pleasant Street to celebrate their 25th anniversary. So congratulations, Hope, for all of the years of service that you've had to the city, and I look forward to seeing how we can continue to work with in partnership with each other as we move forward to help better the people who live here in the city. Yesterday, I was in Gloucester with Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito to receive, on behalf of the city, a grant for $124,000 for the replacement of the Wayside Pond Dam. This is something that the city's been lucky enough to receive 2 years in a row. Last year, we received it for the Keys Road location. This side is for the Wayside Pond. You'll see construction on both of those places beginning soon. Last year, the Keys Road funding that we received was for design, so we're beginning construction shortly in the future. I want to say thank you very much to the Baker-Polito administration for the grants that we've received recently, both with the bike trail grants that we talked about last week, and now with the different infrastructure grants that we have now. It really is nice to be able to get those projects off of our list a lot quicker and not have to worry about trying to find another way so that we can fund those on the city side, which would take a lot longer to do. We also received a very big grant from the federal government as well. We received just under $50,000 to replace all of the fire smoke detectors, fire alarm apparatus, and carbon monoxide detectors for the Gardner Fire Department. The ones that we have there are quite old. So again, it's just another way that we can perform capital projects with different grant funding that's available there. Last year, we received just over $8 million in grant funding in the city, so I'm hoping that we can potentially break that in this fiscal year. So thank you very much to the staff members whose job it is to write those grants and really look for different ways that we can get outside funding to get those different projects off the ground here in the city. Our Junior Police Academy was quite the success this past week. So for those of you who aren't aware, those under the age of 18 once a summer can join a Junior Police Academy. That's where our Gardner police officers, who are paid for through a grant from the state, to try to train children to see a little snippet into what it's like in the life of a police officer in terms of physical fitness, the day-to-day jobs, what some of the aspects of the position are that may not be realized. And it's a week-long summer camp that we host at the police department. It concluded this past Friday with a small cookout and graduation ceremony in front of the Gardner Police Station. So if you drove by and saw some people out on the front lawn of the police station underneath the awning, that's what you were seeing there. We had several kids, almost 20, come out and participate this year. So it was great to see, and it is something that we are looking forward to continuing summer after summer as a camp option here in the city of Gardner. I want to say a special thank you to Lieutenant Nick Maroney for being the one to put all of that together and host that program for those students who decided to take part in that event this year. Our swim meet last week was very successful. We had quite a large crowd of several 100 people, just over 1,000 people were here at Greenwood Pool on both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was the girls division, Sunday was the boys division, and we had, throughout the day, several different people coming in and out of the city and asking questions about, different amenities that we have here in the city, different local restaurants and things like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we can continue that trend as we move forward in the future with competitive swimming here in Gardner in terms of growing what we have at the Greenwood Pool and really taking a look at that asset that we have there and seeing how we can revitalize the area and really bring it into the future. I'll likely be putting a proposal before the City Council sometime this fall as to how we can fully rework that area to make it more conducive so that we can have more events like this as we move forward. We really are blessed to have the Greenwood Pool here in the city of Gardner, and we're very lucky to have the lifeguard staff that we have, where you look at places like Leominster and Fitchburg that have had to close their swimming pool locations because they just haven't had the lifeguard staff this year. We've been lucky not to be in that boat. So thank you very much to all of our staff at the Greenwood Pool, to Don Lemieux for putting on the swim meet, and for everyone else who's just been there to see what potential is available there at the Greenwood Pool. I think that says a lot about us as a community and how we can move forward and really start to sell ourselves and put ourselves on the map and make ourselves something more than just that little blip that's on the weatherman's map when he's talking about who got the most snow year after year. So I think it'll be a nice way to kind of bring more people into the community that way. I want to say congratulations to our new firefighter who started this past week, Dan Quinn. He is a graduate of Gardner High School and a Gardner resident who is very familiar with the community. But what I want to say congratulations the most for, not just for starting his career here at the Gardner Fire Department, Dan was actually selected as the winner of a award at the Fire Academy for the outstanding work that he did as a student at the Fire Academy. And not only was he given an award by the administrative staff of the Massachusetts Fire Academy, he was also selected by his peers to be the commencement speaker at his graduation ceremony. I think, you know, the staff at Gardner Fire Department has always really been dedicated to the city and really puts in that personal effort there, but we should congratulate our own when they do things that, you know, really make them stick out. And it takes a lot to be able to get that award, let alone be recognized in your class for the same reasons. So congratulations, Firefighter Quinn. I look forward to seeing you sworn in when we swear in all of our other officers and our appointees on Monday night's City Council meeting. With that said, I also do want to welcome our own newest police officer, Alexandria Latterroot, who will be sworn in as a Gardner police officer at Monday night's council meeting as well. Colin talked about her a little bit when she started her training here in Gardner a couple weeks ago after she graduated from the police academy, but I haven't had a chance to congratulate her yet, so I wanted to do that here as well. Our paving projects are continuing here in the city. This upcoming week, you'll see paving both through the pulverization. That means when we take that down to a dirt road again, the milling and paving on Ashley Drive, Chapman Park, and Bear Hill Road. So those are the three streets that we'll see the bulk of our paving projects done this coming week. And crews are still working on installing the water lines on Central Street and Parker Street. Central Street, we're just about to the point where we're going to be starting to work down Woodland Avenue, and we may be doing that again next week, where we can start to make our way toward Haywood Hospital there. So just keep an eye out and start planning your morning commutes if you're traveling in that area. This past weekend, we did have a water main break that was quite substantial over on Parker Street. This is typical to happen whenever we replace water mains in any city or town nationwide. And the reason for that is as you go in and you replace a pipe that's old and potentially has some leaks in it and is worn out with a newer pipe that's, you know, up to date and really is, you know, it's brand new, it's solid. You increase the pressure that's there. You have less leaking out and more water that's going through the way it's supposed to be going through. And what that does is it causes the older pipes to shake underground a little bit more because that pressure is higher. And that shaking can sometimes cause those older pipes to break to a point where they just can't handle the new pressure. So this pipe that broke over on Parker Street was actually set to be replaced as part of the water main project next week. But, you know, things happened and we got somewhat of a kickstart on that replacement over there. So there are some gravel grindings on top covering that area now. We are going to stick with the gravel patch in that area of Parker Street for the time being. And the reason for that is we're set to go in and pave that whole road in early September, potentially late August. But if we were to cover that whole area that we had to dig up for that water main now, it cost us about $60,000 to $70,000 in paving costs just to put the patch on it. And it just simply doesn't make sense to pay what we would normally pay for someone's salary here in the city and then go tear it back up just 2 to 3 weeks later on. So we are going to stick with the gravel patch for now. We'll reevaluate that as the weather goes forward and seeing if the rain has any issues with that. But thank you for your patience in that area. I understand how annoying, for lack of a better word, that our water main breaks have been, and that they are just growing pains that come as we're replacing pipes that were put in when Woodrow Wilson was president, because these pipes were put in between 1920 and 1925. But they are part of our progress in just getting through this 100-year project that we have here. We are going to try to do all we can to make sure that we minimize any potential water main breaks that happen as a result of the new pipes being put in. But again, sometimes it's that pressure that gets put in because it's been improved that really causes them to break. Or sometimes even similar to when you open a faucet at your house and you shut the handle off real quick and you get that bang in your pipes called a water hammer. That can happen too when we shut off the water to replace the pipes and put the new ones back on, and that can also cause a water main break. So just be patient with us there. And we'll try to get that done as quickly and efficiently as possible. Like I said, we're almost done on Parker and on Central and Woodland Avenue. And then after that, we'll move our way over to Warwick, Wickman, and Robillard, and the other areas that are seeing water main improvements as well. And then we'll be ending with Pearl Street from Chapel Street through the Route 140-101 intersection all the way up to Pearly Lane with a new water main as well. The last thing that we're going to talk about today before we get to just some event reminders is we're just looking for feedback. Some of you may have realized that the Traffic Commission, which is headed by the DPW Director Dane Arnold and the Deputy Police Chief Jim Trefiro, have put out some barrels at the intersection of Park Street and Central Street. Those are there as a temporary traffic change to get feedback from the public to see if it's worth paving the intersection a different way there as we're going through and paving the area, to see if it's more conducive and a larger safety measure for the traffic in that area. There were a lot of speeding complaints down Park Street and Central Street that we got last year. How these things work is the Deputy Chief and the DPW Director come up with these ideas and barrel them out and then talk about those at the Traffic Commission. So it hasn't gotten to the point where any final decision has been made. In fact, it's only at the point where I'm still even given feedback, and it's not even at a decision that's finally made yet. So if you have any opinions on that, please do contact the DPW Director, Dane Arnold. He can be reached at darnold@gardner-ma.gov. Again, darnold@gardner-ma.gov. And shoot him an email, let him know what you think. The Traffic Commission will still have to meet to discuss that traffic change. Again, they're just putting that out there for feedback. Nothing is final in that area yet, and it hasn't even gotten to my desk yet because it has to be approved by them before any final decisions are made up here in City Hall. So like I said, that was just an idea that the Deputy Chief and the DPW Director had. Give them a shout, let them know what you think. And we do want to remind people about a couple of events that we have coming over on Tuesday, August 3rd. We're going to have two very fun events here in downtown Gardner. We're going to start off at noon with pool party with the police. The Massachusetts State Police and the Gardner Police Department are changing the coffee with the cop concept and putting it with a summer twist to it. So there will be a pool party over at Greenwood Memorial Pool from 12 noon to 3 p.m. that day for people to just get out and meet the Gardner police officers and the Massachusetts State Police in a fun, different way than just coffee with a cop. Again, these programs are meant just to put a face to a name and build those community connections that we have with our police departments, both at the state and local level. I will be there for a little bit as well. So please, it should be a fun time. There'll be food. We're trying to get an ice cream truck. It should be a great time. And then later on at 5:30 p.m. that night, we will have our annual National Night Out in Monument Park. Again, this is a place where we can put a face to a name. The different organizations that provide services to people in the area will be there with tables set up alongside with the Gardner Police Department and the Gardner Community Action Team. I will be in the dunk tank for the first hour. That'll be open, so please be sure to stop by and be fun. If you like how things are going, you can joke by seeing if you can get me in the dunk tank, or if you have any issues with going on, there's no better way to get back at me than getting me in that dunk tank either. So please make sure you get out and sure to have a good time and get the information for those very important organizations and see what they have to offer here in our community. All of the community events that are starting to come back up, you can see on our city's Facebook and website. We do want to remind people that the Overdose Awareness Vigil is coming up at the end of August, as is the Back to School Festival. That'll take place on Watkins Field. The Overdose Awareness Vigil will take place here at City Hall on the front lawn. If that changes, we'll let you know beforehand. And then we have the townwide yard sale that's set to come up at the beginning of October, as well as the Keep Gardner Beautiful litter cleanup. So just keep an eye out for those. Our events are starting to come back after this past year, and it's sure to be a great time here in the city. However, that concludes this week's Mayor's Update. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about anything you heard during this video, please feel free to reach out to my office at any time. Please look out for yourselves and others. When it's not raining, please be sure to get outside and enjoy what we have here in the city, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Until then, I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.